Greetings! Welcome to the Future Ruins YouTube channel, and welcome to my first video. This video is pretty much a response to another YouTuber named Brainsmasher, and he just recently put up a video that was just calling out to the community, asking for us all to start our own YouTube channel because he wants to see more content. So I thought that was a really great idea. I'd actually been thinking about doing videos for a while and just never got around to it, but I think this is a good opportunity to go ahead and get started. You know, just a little bit about me. I live in Colorado. My name is Jimmy, and I've been a metal fan since I was 16 years old. I'm 40 now, so quite a while. I've been kind of collecting on and off all those years. Early in the days when I was younger in high school, it was cassette tape collecting, and then CDs came along, and I had bought a lot of stuff that I don't even have anymore that I've been trying to go back and collect. And then, you know, the whole vinyl resurgence thing came up, and I was actually able to afford it, so I started collecting vinyl. So I basically collect in all three formats, mostly CDs. I buy the vinyl if I really, really love the record, or if I can get a copy for a decent price. Cassette tapes as well. Cassette tapes for me is kind of a nostalgia thing. I have a lot of my old cassette tapes from when I was younger, and you know, I buy them still every now and then, especially for death metal stuff. It's just, to me, it kind of brings me back to when I was in 9th grade discovering it, and just kind of makes it fun. Again, you know, I think this is a really good idea because I don't really have too many friends that are metalheads, so I don't really have too many people to discuss this stuff with. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of these guys, like Brainsmasher, Marty Worm, Count Blagarath, Wyatt. There's quite a few of these guys out there, and I've been watching you guys for a couple of years now, and I just want to take the opportunity to say thank you very much. You guys have introduced me to so much good music over the last couple of years that I may not have ever learned about had I not dig deeper. And these days, the metal sites don't really cover the real underground stuff. You know, you just get the big bands, and you get kind of sick of reading about some of that, even if you're a fan. So just want to take the opportunity to say thank you guys so much for all this great stuff. And I'm hoping that this video kind of is going to sort of give back to the community, and maybe provide me with a means of, you know, sort of networking with you guys and just talking metal and having fun, man. So a little bit more about myself. You know, as far as metal goes, like I said, I've been a fan for so long. I pretty much like a little bit of everything. You know, when it comes to the subgenres, a little bit of each and every thing that you find out there, I usually find something to like. Lately for me, it's really been black metal. There's just so much good stuff coming out. And that sort of ties into my other hobby, which is hiking and backpacking here in Colorado in the mountains. You know, next to music, it's pretty much my favorite thing to do. And when it comes to getting out on the trail, music really kind of coalesces with that. It really has a big part, you know, especially, I'm sure you guys know, if you're into black metal, you like going out in nature, and you know, you kind of get that feeling that you get when you listen to some of these records. And yeah, so I think the two definitely correlate in a way that just makes both even more enjoyable. And, you know, maybe I'll get on to talking some more about that in later videos if I do any. But you know, specifically, especially when it comes to backpacking, you know, getting out on the trail and out of the backcountry and just going and finding a place to camp for the night, building a fire, and having some black metal playing, a little bit of whiskey. There's just nothing like that. So other than that, yeah, I work in technology, so I'm pretty much on the computer all day. It gives me time to really be able to listen to a lot of stuff. You know, and in my later years, the last couple of years, I've really been kind of digging far. You know, over the course of my years as a metalhead, there was a lot of years there where I just didn't devote enough time to listening to new stuff, and definitely missed out on things. And now I'm kind of going back to that stuff, and God, you know, it's just amazing how much has happened since, you know, the early 90s when it comes to metal, you know, all around the world. So anyway, so I thought for this first video I would kind of just grab a stack of vinyl of new stuff that I've got recently, and just kind of talk a little bit about each of the records and what I think about them, and kind of give you a glimpse into my own, the things that I listen to, and what I kind of gravitate towards in the genre. Yeah. Right now we're listening to Burin Tell You Bizarre. I found this for $5 at the record store. I've got into crate digging recently, and that's something that's really fun to do. And I might actually do a video on crate digging because I think there's a lot to learn about being able to find stuff cheap. For $1 or $5 or whatever it is. But I found this $5 at one of the record stores in Denver. And cool stuff, man. This is another band that I missed out on back in the day, and they kind of fit in with Dunham's Guard kind of thing, and just really bizarre out there, sort of black metal mixed with synth stuff and ambient, and fucking awesome, man. Really cool. I'm gonna have to seek out some more of this band's stuff. So that's what we're listening to right now. So I'm gonna start it off with, this is one of the most recent things that I got a week or two ago. I'm sure a lot of you guys that ordered this already have it and already loving it. Everybody knows Panopticon, talks about them. They're definitely one of my favorite bands, and this was put out by Burin Recordings, which is also one of my favorite record labels. Amazing record label. Every band on that label I'm a huge fan of. I jive with all the aesthetic, the vibe that label produces. This is one of their flagship bands, and what to say about this. This is the new EP. 2 songs on here were just left over from the last recording sessions for Austin's double album, Discards of Man, on the Once Nameless Wilderness, the double record, which I love everything this guy does, and man, that double album is just fantastic, man. Just both records, the black metal record and the bluegrass record, and that bluegrass record is going to be close to my heart for a long time, I can tell. Just so passionate and full of just emotion. I think Austin Lunn is really a renaissance man. The fact that he does all these instruments, I just appreciate him so much. It's amazing. What a talented guy. This particular EP, the 2 songs, I can kind of see why he kind of broke it out. It kind of fits the whole aesthetic of the cover art. That's what I really love, is the Northern Lights, and you can really hear it in that first track, Crescendo of Dusk. You can really tell maybe it kind of stood a little bit apart from the rest of the material on the last double record. Burin always does a fabulous job with their pressings. This is that green. I think it was the only pressing they did. It's got etching on side B. Very beautiful. Burin, they always did a great job with their presentation. Really beautiful. Greats. You guys all know this band. You love him. I love him. Can't wait to hear where he goes next. So next up, I've got a band called Erika. This is I think they're from Denmark. Can't really pronounce the album title, but it's their debut full length out on Tour de Garde. And I learned about this band from Wyatt. God, how do I describe it? Definitely atmospheric black metal with a heavy synth. I've read that it's kind of described as dungeon synth meets black metal. I don't really totally agree with that, but if you're a fan of atmospheric black metal, man, this is a really awesome record. It's just 2 guys, guitar, a lot of synth stuff going on. The black metal parts are pretty raw, but the melodies, they definitely have thought this stuff out, and it goes places. It definitely transports you like you would want this sort of record to do. Highly recommend you check this out if you haven't heard it yet. I haven't really seen anybody except Wyatt talk about it. I got this on cassette tape, and I got the vinyl. Unfortunately, it's not on CD yet. I don't know if there's a CD pressing plan, but once there is, I'm definitely going to pick one up because I'm a little disappointed with this pressing here. It's just black vinyl. I'm not going to take it out. But the vinyl itself, just, man, it has just a shit ton of surface noise. Really, it doesn't totally take away from being able to listen to it. I'm not sure if anybody else out there got the same problem with their pressing, but this, it just, it sounds good, but it's just so full of surface noise. It's kind of hard to crank it up real loud. Maybe if I put it through like a good cleaning or something, that might work. But, my brushes that I usually use didn't have any effects, unfortunately. So hopefully you don't have the same experience. Erika, check this out. Fantastic. All right, next. This is another one I haven't heard anybody talk about. Unleashed. If you're a metal fan, you got to know Unleashed. I mean, they're definitely one of the big 4 or 5, the Swedish death metal. This is called the Hunt for White Christ. And I think this really, I just haven't seen anybody talk about it. It came out last year, I think. And as far as Unleashed goes, I think those first 3 records are classics. After that, I kind of lost touch with them over the years. I remember they went on hiatus and they came back with that Hell's Unleashed record, which I thought was pretty bland. After that, I didn't really pay any attention to them for a long time. When this was announced that it was coming out, there was a single, and I went and just checked it out and was really blown away by how good the song was. And so I went and picked this one up. Really clean, polished sound. It's great to see a band like Unleashed putting a record out like this today, for as long as they've been around. This really stands up. The songwriting is really good. The riffs are awesome. The production is pretty pristine, clean. It's their trademark sweet death thrash with some blackish sort of undertones. Great guitar solos, great. The riffs are just great, man. The drumming is awesome. Johnny sounds killer on vocals. The lyrics are pretty cheesy, He's singing about Odin. What do you expect, If you were ever a fan of this band, I highly recommend you pick this up. It's just a lot of fun and great to see, like I said, that this band is still going, and it's definitely prompted me to want to go seek out some of their other albums that I missed out on. Because it's really cool to see that sort of black metal sort of influence on their music now, when they used to really just be straight up, sweet death thrash. So, Unleashed, The Hunt for White Christ. Yeah, man, check it out. All right, this next one, Dreadnought. I haven't seen anybody talk about this one either. This band is here from where I live. They're local to me in Denver. And I first heard them, I saw them open for Devin Townsend a few years ago. Never had heard of them, and they just blew my mind. Amazing band, really talented. They have their own sound, and they don't sound like anybody else. There's some black metal in there. There's maybe some freeform sort of jazz. They it's pretty standard, guitar, bass, drums, but then they start pulling in the flute, the saxophone, and the keyboards, and they do it really well. The drummer actually is the one that plays the saxophone. It's kind of mind-blowing. Seeing them play live, they would go into a more ethereal kind of sounding part, and then he would put the sticks down and put the saxophone on and play a saxophone part. It was really cool, and they handle it all themselves. It's kind of hard to pinpoint what these guys really sound like. Anyway, so this is their Profound Lore debut, Emergence. And honestly, I'm pretty disappointed with this. If you've heard these guys before, you know that they kind of have a specific formula that they stick to, how their songs work. This album really feels like they kind of just went through the motions. Like they kind of, didn't, it's kind of uninspired. Like it didn't feel like they had anything. I would recommend, if you were going to check these guys out, go listen to The album, I think it's their second album, is called Bridging Realms. Really fantastic, and that's the best one to start with if you're going to check these guys out. Very eclectic, very hard to sort of pinpoint what their sound is, but anyway, this new one, maybe I need to listen to it a little bit more, but my first, after listening to it about 4 or 5 times, I just don't feel it's as strong as some of their other material. Very cool looking merge pressing. But it's cool that these guys got signed to Profound Lore, and let's hope that the next one is going to sound a little bit more inspired. Regardless, it's not a bad record. It's just not quite as good. Highly recommend this band. They need all the support they can get. The locals over here, so yeah, check them out. Oh boy, oh, yeah! Look at that shit, huh? Fuck yes, man. The very expedient return of the almighty Tomb Mold. And I'm sure you guys all know this band. I mean, if you're a metalhead, you can't not have heard all the hype that's going surrounding these guys. It's kind of mind-blowing, all the stuff that you read. Just amazing how much hype this guy's got. But it's warranted, and this record is a fucking crusher. I've only listened to it a couple times. I need to kind of wrap my head around it a little bit more, but it is fantastic. It's amazing how quickly they turned around this record, because the last one came out only a year ago. I'm sure you guys know 20 Buck Spin put this out, and I actually pre-ordered this, and I got the one of the merge variants. Isn't that cool? 20 Buck Spin, man. I got this at my doorstep a week and a half before the release date, which I don't know if that was luck or just 20 Buck Spin is on top of their game, but whatever the case, pretty cool to get it early. I'll probably have more to say about this once I've let it sink in a little bit more, but it's definitely expanding upon what makes these guys so great. I don't know what it is, the riffs are killer, the songs, they know how to write a song, Great solos on this. Really, really cool solos. The drummer, great. He's just such a tasteful drummer, and he handles the vocals. You can tell he's probably capable of way more, but he knows how to restrain himself and serve the song, so to speak. Killer vocals, killer concepts. Look at that artwork, great. The pressing, sorry for the glare, the pressing, as always, 20 Buck Spin, they always do a great job. There's a poster, I'm not going to take it all out, there's a poster, a sticker, some cool little trading cards that they always include with their vinyl. This is going to be probably top album for a lot of people this year. Definitely warranted, definitely looking forward to hopefully seeing these guys live at some point. Great to see bands like this doing this today, just taking it back to the roots and writing kick-ass songs, so. Tomb Mold. Planetary Clairvoyance, the name. All right, I just got 2 more I'm going to talk about. This is more atmospheric black metal. Everybody's been talking about this, and, another pretty hyped band in the genre. Cosmic Church with Tatimats. I'm kind of late to this band. I didn't really check them out until this dropped. I had read a lot about them and went back and checked out the last couple, which were great. Unfortunately, can't find a good press, or that's gonna not over $100 to get one of those records. This guy, they don't produce very much product, So when I saw this pop up, I just jumped on it. I think I ordered it from Arcane Altar, maybe, or one of those European distributors. Probably paid more than I should have just for shipping. Maybe could have waited until somebody in the U.S. had it, but whatever. Now this record, there's so much I could say about it. This does everything that I want an atmospheric black metal album to do. When I listen to black metal, I want it to transport me, you know, to another place in the universe, another plane of existence. I want to be swept away. And this really does that. Everything about this, it's a perfect record. It's more melodic than the last couple that he's released. The songwriting is fantastic. The melodic, you know, the melodies, they're unique. Sounds different. The vocals are not too in your face. You know, it's a bummer that this is over, this project, because I mean, you know, everybody's saying the same thing. But if this is all he had, then boy, he went out with a hell of a bang. I wish that he had more to contribute to this project because this is so freaking good. But you guys know, you know, you've probably heard this already. If you're a fan of atmospheric black metal, this is not to be missed. Cosmic Church. All right, I've got one more record I'm going to talk about for this. I didn't want to make this too long for the first video. But this next record is probably going to be my record of 2019, without a doubt. I don't think this is going to be possible to top for me personally. This is Nasheim. Jord Oska. Nasheim, not sure how to pronounce it. I'm relatively new to this band as well. I learned about them from some of you guys, and there was their last record that a lot of people were hyping up, Solens Vamad, I think it was called. And this just dropped this year, I think earlier this year, on Northern Silence. I haven't really seen anybody talk about it yet. This album, there's so much that I can say about this album. It's mind-blowingly good. It's very different from the last one. The last one, you know, got a lot of praise and is a great record on its own. Very depressive. This one is not as depressive as that. Not to say that it's happy, but definitely you can tell he's taken it to another level. So this band, it's just one guy, one-man band, from Sweden, and I think he uses other musicians for some of the stuff. There's violins, there's all kinds of... I guess this is an atmospheric black metal record. I'm not really sure if that's the best description because some of it's very slow, doomy, maybe. It's 3 tracks, and the first track's like 20 minutes long, the second track's only like 6 minutes, and then the third track's another 20 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever. I'm curious to find out why he chose to sequence the thing like that, because this really can kind of be just one long track, because the whole thing is tied in together. The themes and the different things that he builds and expands upon in the music is throughout the entire thing. So it could really just be one collective work, really. It's a very slow builder, and you really have to listen to it from start to finish. It's packed with emotion and just feeling, and it transports you. Like I said, it's what I want out of atmospheric black metal. A ton of chock full of atmosphere, this thing. You know, it kind of has black metal tendencies, doom, great melodies, man. You know, I'm a real melodic guy. That's usually what grabs me in my metal. Is really good melodic sense, and this is chock full of that, man. I don't know how to describe it. It's just the way that he takes 3 or 4 different ideas, different melodies, and just weaves them differently throughout the whole thing. You know, it's like the same, but it's done differently, and then it's done heavier, and then he brings in some more instruments, and then it kind of slowly builds those ideas. And just, I mean, by the end of it, it just crescendos to this amazing effect. His vocals are awesome, man. Just, he has like 2 or 3 different vocal styles. You know, there's the black metal vocals in there. There's kind of the anguished yells. There's sort of these sort of really powerful, clean vocals as well. You know, I don't. It's hard to really describe this thing. But if you have ever heard this band, man, if you haven't heard this yet, I'm telling you, I just don't see how this can be topped this year, and I'm not seeing enough people talking about it, you know. The vinyl pressing itself came out really nicely. I picked it up on Hell's Headbangers, which I believe they're unfortunately sold out right now, so if you wanted to get a vinyl copy, you probably have to get it on Northern Silence's website. But I think Hell's Headbangers still has the CDs, they have the Digipacks. But man, the vinyl pressing, Northern Silence, that's another one of those labels that just does, they spare no exception when it comes to their vinyl pressings, and they give you so much in there. I'm actually going to, you know, I didn't want to show all these records, but I'm going to take this one out so you can kind of get a sense of what this looks like. There's, you know, a nice poster of the cover arts. Beautiful gatefold. The lyrics, everything is in Swedish, I believe, so unfortunately I don't know what the hell he's singing about. I would like to get an English copy of these at some point to get that, close that gap on what I understand about this record. And then the vinyl is just a silver pressing, or yeah, silver. I think this had 2 or 3 different variants, but this was all that had Hell's Headbangers. The vinyl sounds fantastic, and then there's also a insert, hard cover insert, beautiful picture of the guy in a very cool looking wilderness setting. Is that kind of shit just gets me, man. Fucking love that shit, man. Anything with something like that, I know I'm gonna like. I know I'm gonna love it, you know. And just some liner notes on the record. So yeah, he used some session musicians on this, but I think, you know, this guy Nasheim, you know, largely wrote. It says all music and lyrics written and performed by E. Gran. I wonder if E. Gran is Nasheim himself. I'm assuming it is. Man, this thing. I can't give it enough praise, guys, you know, so I've probably gone way too long about it. Pick this up, Nasheim, Jord Aska. You won't regret it. Alright, so I think that's probably enough for this first video. I'm not sure how much I'm going to do. I've got some ideas on some things that would be kind of cool to kind of be, you know, somewhat unique, a bunch of all the metal YouTubers. But ultimately, you know, like I said in the beginning of the video, I think this stuff is really important, and, you know, I'm hoping, like, if you like the video, subscribe, shoot me a comment. Love to get to know some other folks out there that like this stuff and want to talk about it. And, hell, if you're here in Colorado and you're into hiking, hit me up, man. I mean, if you're a metal fan and you like to hike, I mean, that's a hard combo to find. I'm always looking for new hiking buddies, you know, that want to hit the trail and, you know, listen to metal. So it's a good combo. Maybe I've got a couple of other ideas for videos. Maybe you know, I might do one on bargain bin shopping. I've got some things that I've learned along that process. Might be cool to impart on you guys to find stuff cheaper. You know, if you collect CDs. Maybe next couple of videos, what I would like to mainly try to do is showcase some stuff that I haven't seen any of you guys talk about. And I think there's some contributions I can make there. You know, I'm into underground stuff, but I like some of the, you know, more mainstream metal stuff as well, and I'm probably not going to talk about that stuff too much, but, you know, try to keep it underground for the most part. But, you know, I'll pull some of that stuff out in another video and see what you guys think. You know, maybe you'll hopefully learn something from me that you never knew and find a band that you like. That's why we watch this stuff. That's why I do it. So anyway, guys, going about 30 minutes here. So cheers. If you watch this, thank you so much. And you'll get another video out next week or so, and post this up on Mr. Brainsmasher's page, and hopefully win some of those CDs. I think he's got a Death Individual Thought Patterns original CD pressing I wouldn't mind having, just because I've got the new Relapse copy that I think they remastered it. I'm not as huge of a fan as the remaster as the original, so that would be a cool one to have, man. So anyway, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in to Future Ruins, and we'll see you next time.